Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Tell Me a Story, Storytime with Lack. And if you're new here, it's good to have you. Welcome. Joining me on the yellow sofa today is the absolute handsome devil and my friend Ashton, who shares his experiences as a pearl diver. You know, this truly is one of the most intense and interesting and terrifying stories to be told on the Yellow Sofa so far. So all I'm going to say is we can make this a drinking game. Like drink every time Ashton mentions that he maybe dies, or just drink every time it looks like I'm about to cry. Just like it's crazy. Um, let's fucking go. Let's get to it. Ashton, you have been the hardest person to get onto this yellow couch. I swear to God, I don't understand why, because like I feel like I see you more times than I don't. But I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me on the yellow sofa. How are you doing?
I'm good, yeah. There's been like 100 million excuses and just so many random things happen that's like stepped in the way. But yes, finally I'm on here. I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm classmate.
So my first question to you, of course, is I need to know what you're drinking.
Right, well I'm drinking a lukewarm cup of tea. Um,
Oh
Yorkshire tea.
no!
And I was drinking before that, but firstly guy, I had an Aldi lilt.
Oh wow! Many
So
drinks,
yeah,
multiple drinks.
yeah. Keep hydrated.
Love that. I'm just drinking some apple juice at the moment, so
Just apple
we can
juice,
have a
all right.
yeah, just apple juice. But Ashton, I know what you're drinking now. What I need to know is, what is the story you're going to be telling me? What are you sharing today?
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about my experience being the UK's first pearl diver for Paz Paley Pearls, which is an Australian-based company.
Okay, I what? You were the first. Okay, okay. My first question to you is, what is pearl diving?
Right. Okay. So just clear up straight away. Pearls, as in like a pearl necklace, and as a pearl diver, you are trying to um, basically swim down um, to the bottom of the ocean on just like northwest of Australia. Um, and you
Okay,
are trying to group up as many of these pearl shells as you can for the company for them to sell on in their high street stores. You are the set of guys that go out and do that for these like multi-million pound companies.
wow. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up because you did tell me that this is what you're going to be talking to me about. And for the longest time, I was calling it, also saying pole diving. I don't know what.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's go because obviously you're not in Australia right now. So how did you get into the job?
Right. Okay. So that could be a whole story in itself. So I'll cut that one a bit short. But
Okay.
essentially, um, in order for you to stay longer in Australia on my working holiday visa, I needed to do some farm work, um, which could be agricultural, fishing, anything. Like, you could be picking up watermelons on a field. But somehow, me and my mates were sat in a bar. We was discussing what we should be doing, and I just googled up random. I was like, Google random farm jobs you can do in Australia. Came up with this. It was coming into the start of the season to be a deckhand for the pearl fishing boats. So I said to my mates, why not? Should we fly up to the other side of Australia from Melbourne to Darwin, and
Yeah.
let's just see if we can try and land one of these jobs. Um, I'd read a travel blog about some guy being a deckhand on a boat before, and he said it was you earned good money, it was a good experience. So yeah, why not? Um, so yeah, we fly up to Darwin, and we soon realise we have no idea what we're trying to find here.
Yeah.
um, we, 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 we have a wander down. It's me and my friend Jack, and we have a wander down to the harbour, and because we read on this travel blog that he just went up to boats asking if there was any work they needed,
Yeah.
and then we soon realised that's not the way to go about getting a job. Um, and then we worked out that the biggest building in Darwin was actually owned by Paz Paley, the pearling company,
Okay.
and
That's
it's actually quite.
convenient.
Yeah, no, yeah, no. It's honestly. So me and my friend just walking. I remember I was walking in going, "What am I doing here?" Um, we asked the lady at the reception because this is actually a really fancy building. Remember, this is pearl jewelry, so there's a lot of money in this. It's like
Yeah.
all marble flooring, like really expensive
Oh.
jewelry everywhere. Go in, and and I asked, "Oh, how do we go about trying to get a job?" And she directs us up to like the 42nd floor or something
Oh my
stupid like
God.
that.
Oh, like business is happening when it's the 42nd floor. Like, come on.
Honestly, I'm just like chatting to my friends at home, like, what am I doing here? Like, what is happening? Um, so we both go up anyway. Um, Again, it's like marble floor and it's overlooking the whole of Darwin out to the ocean. Like, it's a lovely like office area. Go up to the receptionist and we say, okay, we'd like to ask if you guys are hiring. We heard that this is the only way of trying to get a job with you guys, and then
Hmm.
they just give you a sheet of paper and go, okay, um, write your information here, what you're looking for, what you're wanting to do, and I remember at the top of the sheet it says, "What job role are you applying for?" And I was like, "I don't know, like what, what do you call it?" So I just called it a perler. I was like, "Yeah, I'm applying to be a perler."
Oh my God. Okay. How old were you, by the way?
I was 24,
Okay. So fair,
24,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, me and my friend filled out this form, told them about our experience before and other, you know, academic stuff. Left the building feeling like what a waste of time. Like why the hell would they hire us guys who have no
Yeah.
experience on boats out at sea
Hmm.
fishing? Um, and I think like 10 days had passed by, and I just thought nothing of it. We were just enjoying ourselves up
Yeah.
there. And then I get a phone call. Um, I got one, unfortunately, my friend didn't get one, and I got put on, just got called in randomly for an interview. It was like, "Can you
Okay.
be here in an hour?" I was
Oh
like, "Okay,
wow.
but bloody hell, yeah, okay." Anyway, yeah, went through that phase, got an absolute grilling by this Aussie guy, but it was like a group interview. It was quite fun, to be fair, and I just, again, I came out of that thinking, "There's no way I've got further."
Yeah.
Um, another 2 days later, I get a phone call going. Okay, we need you in for a drug and alcohol test. So, can you be here in half an hour? Okay, come in.
Wow, the
Pass.
time's getting shorter. They're like, come on, guys.
Honestly, I'm not making this up. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, they're trying to catch you out. They're trying to make you see if you was lying or something. But I came in, passed it, and then I think 3 days after that, I got called in. Um, I was sat in with another guy who got through, and we flipped a coin. Whoever won the coin toss got to choose who goes out to sea. And I won the
Wow,
time course, and I went out to
of
sea,
course.
and then they flew me off to Broome, which was like a 4 hour flight from where I was staying within like 2 days.
Oh, so okay, Ashton, you've got the job. You've got the job.
Yeah,
Let's talk about. I want to know like your first shifts and like do you get training on it? Like what happens? Because obviously you wanted to be a perler. You don't even know what you're doing. Like what happens?
yeah. Honestly, yeah. I know. I had to say that part there just so you understand this next part. So I'm gonna skip
Okay, come on.
another little bit before I get to pearling, just so you understand the backstory of it. So I worked. Not. I didn't get a pearl diving job straight away. I went to work as a deckhand for 3 months. that was what the initial job was, and that was the whole
Oh,
experience
okay.
in itself. And at the end of my 3 months working as a deckhand for the company, um, the fleet commander for the boats randomly asked me. He said, "Ashton, can you dive?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Do you want to?" I was like, "Yeah, what? Yeah, why not?" He's like, "Okay,
Oh my God.
go learn how to dive, and next year you'll come back as a pearl diver." Right. So that sets up. So
Right.
okay, then so I go to Asia, and then I spend 10 days in Bali learning how to be a rescue diver, because that's the as much as you need to learn to become a diver. And then I get
Wow.
um, and then I get invited back to start the pearl fishing season in the March after that, and then yeah, well, I can go from there for how the experience was.
Okay, so you've got the training. You feel, I'm guessing are you excited? Are you like, let's go? I know what I'm doing. Let's get some pearls.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. I was excited but scared because I knew I was not experienced. I'd only dived 10 times, and that was only through every time I dived before was part of my training course. It was never anything more than just training or diving by myself. So, 100%
I've got a
nervous.
question, Ashton.
Yeah,
And it might be a bit stupid, but like, so obviously I know that you're looking for pearls. That's what a pearl diver is. But do you actually have to like dive from like the top of a cliff or something? Like, are you actually diving into the water?
nah, you just jump in like off a meter off the back of the boat.
Oh, okay.
It's not like Tom Daly's going in like throwing some shapes before we get a pearl at bomb at sea.
Okay, good, good. Okay, I'm just clearing some things up because yeah, okay, okay. Fair.
So, um, so before I start actually the job, you get paid for 4 weeks. They train you to make sure you're fit enough,
Hmm.
you're mentally prepared. They put you. So we did 4 weeks of CrossFit training, and during that we was also labouring. We all got put in our own crews, and you set with your crew, and you had to build and repair the boat before you went out to sea. And that was 4 weeks leading up to going out. Um, you also, because I was a newbie that year, along with quite a few other lads, we called like greens or like
Okay.
greenies. I can't remember. um, we got put through a 3-day course of every way you can die whilst you're pearl diving.
Die! Oh
Yeah,
God, no!
yeah, yeah. It's honestly that was terrifying. It's just sat in that office block where just some mad Aussie guy just telling you like, don't pick up any shells, they can stab you and you can be paralyzed. Don't get touched by a box jellyfish. Don't get eaten by a shark. Don't
Oh, okay, thanks for that.
yeah. Like it's like 101 ways you can die basically, and that was the training as well, which is obviously very useful, but
Yeah.
quite daunting when you have no idea about the ocean. Um, so yeah, that was going into through training, and then it was the after that 4 weeks of training, we then first went out, and it's completely like 10 times harder than what I could explain it as the role
Oh no.
because. So, would you like to know like a typical day? What I would do?
Go on, paint the picture,
Yep.
paint the scene, let us know.
So every day, my alarm goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning. Straight up,
I already hate that. I already hate that.
straight up, straight into a wetsuit.
Okay.
Because my role was slightly different to the main divers who were experienced,
Hmm.
I was the first person off the boat with my manager. So um, we would depart from the mothership at around 4:30, and we would be it's called steaming. We would be aiming to go to a certain area of the map that our skipper has told us to go to dive as soon as the sun rises. So we've got to be there around 5, 5:30, ready for the first bit of sun to rise.
Can
Now,
I ask, is there a reason why like the sun needs to rise? I mean, is there a reason why it had to be that specific time?
to try fitting as many dives as you can throughout the day,
Okay,
and yeah, it's all because it all runs on a tight schedule.
okay,
Um, so you're very restricted on your timing. That's kind of like you've got to make sure you basically diving from sunrise to sunset, or at least you've
okay.
got
Wow.
work the the whole day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we set off 4:30. It's absolutely freezing. I know it's Australia, but at that time, 20 miles out at sea, you can't see land. It's just windy. Quite often it's quite stormy as well. So we could be driving the boat for like 40 minutes against the waves, against the wind, and like it's like getting whiplash on you.
Oh
Every time you hit
no.
over a whip, it's like that. You just get banged about. Um, yeah, incredibly like it's not like this paradise that you imagine, well, especially not at the start of the day anyway. So
I
um,
I want to ask because I know what you're like, but were you ever scared in those moments where like you're getting whiplash for like 40 minutes because there's a storm coming, or were you like, you know what, I've had my training, I've got the lads with me, and I'll be fine?
no, 100% I was scared, but um, you can't show that. It's there's no the culture with working in that crew and working in that role that you cannot show any weakness. 100%.
Wow, that's
It's
me out
just
then.
oh yeah, no, 100%. There's no weakness to be shown at any moment. You know what you're signing
Okay,
up for, and then no one's apologetic about what's happening. You know what you're getting into.
okay,
It was working for the company was working like for the military, I would say.
damn.
So my boss, Madeline, she was an absolute nightmare to work with, like horrendous. Um, I will get onto that a bit later on, but basically, yeah. So first time you're jumping in at about 5:30. I remember my first time I jumped in. I was just looking, thinking like, I'm a guy from Bradford. I've no right to be jumping in the middle of this ocean right now to find pearls. I have no idea what's going on here. Um, and first time I jumped in, then realised how deep I was to be diving. In my training for a rescue diver, I was diving around 10 to 12 meters deep, which isn't that deep. But at this point in the ocean where we were, it was between 20 to 30 meters, which I suppose when you,
What?
yeah, yeah, so which is around, like, I think, 8 stories high building if it was to go down.
Hmm.
Um, and like, it's weird because the scary part about it isn't when you get to the surface, because that's when you feel like you're on land because you are close to it. It's the middle zone where you're just still swimming
Mm.
and all you can see, is blue. Like you just can't see anything. You don't know, you can't see the light coming down and you can't see the sand at the bottom. um, in terms of the diving, um, it was just crazy. It's just like another world down there. So what we'd have to do, I'd have a fixed route. I'd have this line to go across. On my way across it, I would have to, because my role was slightly different to the pearl divers, 50% of the time. I would have to turn these rows of pearl shells that were being harvested.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you dive in, you go to the bottom, and then there's a rope that goes along for a kilometre. And you're following the rope, and every metre there's a panel that you turn, and you're doing this, and you're just pulling yourself along, swimming along, and just turning it over. And now, whilst you're doing this, if you see pearl shells on the floor, you can also collect these. And when you collect these, you'll get money per shell as well. Now, as you are doing this, there is sea snakes, um, like really scary crabs, sharks.
This
Uh,
literally sounds like a round of Crash Bandicoot. Like, I swear to God. It sounds like Crash. I'm so
yeah.
okay. Wow.
Well, no, have you seen like it's like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here,
Okay,
and
maybe that's a
and like you
better
know, and you just
representation.
like I'm still like screaming at everything that time I see something because I'm still scared myself, but you just got to do it. Um, like, honestly, I would say every other dive I was chased by a snake, and I never got better at handling that situation.
Oh my God. Oh, that sounds terrible. That's doesn't. Oh, I couldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, so you do that dive, come back up, and then you'd have 15, 20 minutes, and then you do another dive doing a similar kind of thing, similar route, and yeah, the day basically the day was just non-stop from
How long are you
morning
looking for?
till night. Pardon?
How long are you like? How long's your shift?
So I would finish around 8 o'clock at night.
You were
I would start at
working
half.
from
Yeah,
4:30 till 8.
yeah, every day. Um, so when you go out and that's just work, when you go out and steam, um, you are on duty from the moment you're on that boat to the moment you get off that boat, and um, the trips would last between 10 days and 2 weeks at a time.
Oh my gosh. So you literally did you have to work every day of the 10 days of the
Oh
2 weeks?
yeah, non-stop. Yeah, I'd come back on it at 8 o'clock, absolutely shattered, like body aching, um, starving, like just absolutely blown away like what I've done that day. Get a quick shower, have a little bit to eat, and then straight to bed. And I've never slept so easy. I wouldn't even. I literally, the moment I'd land on that bed, it's like I'd blink and I'd be back up again and do it again. I don't. It's continuous.
Wow.
But so amongst my duties, um, what I want to get part of one of bad experiences that I had whilst I was diving was I think it was on the end of my first trip. Bearing in mind, I hadn't had that much experience diving. I was just getting the flow of things. I was just getting used to, what I had to do and what was expected of me.
Yeah.
There was a big storm out at sea where the waves were
Oh.
like the waves were the size of houses, and my manager, who is the driver of the boat for me as I dive, she she made the call to take me out in the morning despite the weather. And now this is quite important, really, because her job as my manager is she's the boat on top,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm connected. My oxygen line is connected to this boat, and I'm below her, and she has to basically follow me and follow my bubbles in line with me as I go along the path. And in the environment it was, there was not a chance she could see my bubbles.
Yeah.
There's not a chance she could control the boat because the boat was getting thrown about. It was ridiculous. Um, but on this occasion, anyway, we go out there, business as usual. As soon as the sun comes up, she's like, "Okay, Ashton, time to jump in."
Mm-hmm.
I jump in. I think it's about 10 minutes into it. I notice a pulling on my oxygen line. The oxygen line is connected on my hip, and then from there it's onto my mouth. Now, there's a one of the most dangerous things you can learn about diving is that whenever you go from the bottom to the top, you need to make sure you do it slowly in order
Mm-hmm.
to release oxygen out of your body so you don't blow up your lungs, you don't catch the bends. It's all to do with like the pressure. Now, typically from bottom to top, it would take me 10 minutes to get there
Mm-hmm.
out of safety. That was like the company standard. But on this occasion, because of what was going on top, she couldn't handle the boat, and my oxygen line got caught up in the propeller of the boat, and um, literally just started spinning me up, just started pulling me up. And I think I got to the top. Well, I remember as soon as it started doing it, I detached the oxygen line because it kind of pulled out my mouth a bit, and then I detached it off my waist out of panic because it also like hit my goggles away as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started screaming out, um, trying to exhale all the oxygen I could out of my body because I knew if I kept it in, I would like pop like a crisp packet. Starts pulling me up, and I'm literally, I would say, I must have been like 2 seconds away from letting go of my oxygen line and completely detaching from the boat. And then it stopped. She turned off the engine, and I had gone up 20 meters, I think, in
Wow.
less than 10 seconds. So I was obviously just shitting myself. Like, what is going on here? What's happened? I attached my oxygen line back onto my waist. Do the last like 5, 10 meters. Um, get back onto the boat, and then she starts screaming at me, um, just saying how this is dangerous.
You
You're in a
think?
dangerous job. I know.
You think, love?
Like, just starts like, yeah, it's just obviously she was stressed, was just taking it all onto me. And I'm just sat there going like, what you want about? You want a boat? Like I'm the one down there. Like I should be shouting at you right now. Um, but so she has that like non-motivated speech with her, and then she goes, "Look, you need to go back down. We need to finish the job."
Um,
And
no. No, we're not
I was
doing
like,
that.
okay, let's do it. Let's stop wasting time. Let's do it. I'll be
You're
honest with
much,
you, like I was.
Ashton, you are a much better man than me because I would have, my notice would have been on the table, my clothes on.
Yeah, too right, too right. No, I was shaking. I came up shaking. That was too close for me. That was I I knew that if I handled that differently, I could have been detached from the boat and lost at sea because there's no way he would have found me in that storm, and I wouldn't have it wouldn't have been attached to the boat. I could have been like I say, I could have blown my lungs. They could have the propeller could have chopped the oxygen line off. I could have separated. But anyway, I was like, okay, let's do this. Um, Jumped back in, went straight back down. I remember going back down, and I was like, just thinking to myself, don't think about it, just do it. Don't think about it. Don't overthink it. Just get it done. As I'm going down, I can feel my throat like drying up and squeezing,
Oh no.
and and my oxygen line is getting like a higher pitch noise in it, and it gets tighter, and it's a weird sensation. It feels like someone's slowly choking you. Basically, she hadn't turned the oxygen on after she had turned it off, and sent me down again. And I was at the bottom now. I was 30 meters down here when it started happening, and I had no oxygen. It was slowly going. So I'm just thinking, like, give me a break, man. What is happening here?
I mean,
Um,
come on, you stupid bitch!
literally. Um, so in training, you get taught you've got like a little canister on the back of you that gives you 3 minutes of airtime if an emergency.
Hmm.
So I follow the procedure. Take this out, which has no oxygen, swap it on. Thank God I've got gas in this canister. Like, thank God I've prepared it well. And I've now got 3 minutes to get back to the top, which is 7 minutes less than the 10 minutes that I should have taken. And considering I did it in 1 minute less than a minute last time, I'm definitely setting my body up for the bends or some kind of like,
Oh
I'm not.
God.
Um, so go back up. I do it in 3 minutes, get to the top. She starts screaming at me again. She goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing up here at the top?" I'm like, "I've got no oxygen." Start arguing with her, and like she's just giving me again so much stick about being dangerous and like being the
Why is
absolute
she
opposite of
like?
helpful in this scenario. Like the last thing I need is stress from you when just help, just sort me out. Um, so I'll
I'm,
get back onto the boat.
literally,
And then,
this story is stressing me out, Ashton. I thought it was going to be like cute and nice. You talk about pearls, but no, I'm literally like, I'm clutching my pearls. I'm so scared. I'm very sorry. What's happening? Did you make it?
that then the next thing she goes, "Okay, we got to finish this job, but we've got to do it quicker now. We're running out of time." I'm like, "What do you mean do it quicker? I can't help the last two things that have happened. I'm literally just trying to do my job. You're throwing me up and you're not giving me oxygen." Um, so she's like, "Okay, right, I'm gonna have to drop you in now against tide. So what that means is you're gonna swim against the current. And now, if you haven't dived before or you haven't like swam deep into the ocean, the current out there is completely different to like when you just like going at the beach. Like
Yeah.
this thing shifts you, like you're absolutely flying." She's like, "Okay, you're gonna have to swim against it, and I need you to do it in 20 minutes when I know it'd probably take you half an hour. I need you to do this as quick as you can because this is the last dive of the day and it's getting dark." And when it gets dark, the sharks start. The rumor is that that's when the sharks start to
Oh,
feed.
no, not the sharks. Jeez.
And I'm just thinking, like, what is going on? Um, just stop adding to the pressure here. There's no reason. But I was like, okay, yep, let's get it done. I try to be professional. I was like, okay, yep, chuck me in. Again, I'm shaking at this point. So I'm just thinking, what is going on here? Go down, go against tide. And in my head, I'm just like, I just want to get this finished. Like, I hate this. Like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I'm scared. I don't know what is going on. So I know I'm pushing against it, and I feel like I'm sprinting underwater. I'm trying to swim that much. It's taking all my energy to get through this tide because it's really pushing against me. Thankfully, my oxygen's okay. Everything else is okay.
She turned it on
But
this time then.
yeah, quite nice of her actually.
She took it down. Oh my God.
So I'm looking at my clock and I can see I'm like 15 minutes through and I feel like I've got a long way to go. I can sense it's all getting darker. The sun's coming down. Everything's getting darker. And I know, again, that's on my mind. Like, I need to be out here before it's too dark. I can't see that much in front of me anymore. I can't see the surface. And then all of a sudden, all this like stress I put on myself in the first two dives and this, as I'm literally trying to sprint underwater, I start to have a panic attack.
Oh my. I can't. I just can't. No, 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 no.
And and like my brain's just going swim up, swim up, swim up, swim up, swim up, swim up, swim up. Like just that's all it's on repeat. It's saying to me like I can't breathe. I'm going like so short of breath, which is sounds stupid to say while you're underwater. Um, and a guy who a guy for the company died the year before by blowing his lungs by swimming up out of panic. And I
Oh
remember
God.
this clearly because this is what happened. I was thinking when I was going through it. It's like whatever you do, don't swim up, even though my brain's going swim up, swim up, swim up. So I take like I completely stop myself, and then I remember in the training it says if you ever panic or anything, put like a hand on your chest and just literally like stop everything you're doing underwater and just like that comfort of your own hand on your chest helps you to regather your thoughts and your breath. And I just remember just being there. I think I was there for like a couple of minutes just trying to catch my breath, stop the panic. Everything's going dark around me. But I was like, nah, like this is you just need to do this. You need to you should you need to handle this. Eventually do it, and then push through to the end of the dive, and then um, come back up when it was pitch black, and was unbelievably happy to get back on that boat because that was
Please, I need to know that was your last day there. Like, please. You quit after that, Ashton, right? Please.
no, nah, that was just the start. That was the
That
start of the season
sounds.
really.
I need to, like, what is it? Put my hand on my chest. Like, I need to do that right now because I am, like, so stressed. That was traumatic, Ashton. Like, what? And you still stay. Like, how long were you doing pearl diving? Like, how long did you do it for as a job?
6 months, 6 months for the season.
And when did this traumatic experience happen?
That happened, I think, around like 20 dives in, and then altogether, I think I did between 200 and 250. I can't remember, something between there. So it was quite early
You're
on.
you're kind of a hero. Like that's amazing. To be honest, wow, wow! I can't believe that story. I'm gonna take a sip of apple juice. Let me. Sorry, I just need to
Yeah, I need some tea.
have your lukewarm tea.
Like,
It's probably cold now. Have your cold
it's
tea.
cold. It's cold now. I've been talking too much rubbish.
Did
Still
you
nice though, actually.
did you enjoy the job?
Um, no, honestly, like I absolutely hated it.
So
It
why
was so
did you not just say fuck this? I'm off. Like bye.
I couldn't. I felt like it's such a privilege to have that opportunity to do that that I had to complete it. Firstly, to say that I have done a pearl fishing season.
Hmm.
Secondly, to know that no matter what, I could do it. Like I can't quit. It, yeah. I I couldn't imagine quitting it because I'd look back and go, why didn't you just finish it? Um,
That's
but
so inspiring because I'm laughing because I just know like the second that manager's like acting up and like not like I
yeah,
would have been out. I would have been out. I would have been back in the other side of Australia with the lads. Like I would have been out. You stuck through that. That's so. I mean, that's obviously telling of who you are as a person, and I think that's inspiring to be honest. Like, fair play, fair.
I probably if I did it again, I would say I'd quit though. I don't think it was worth it. But well, nah, yeah, I wouldn't quit. I think I should have quit, but I didn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think everyone watching and listening to this thinks you probably should have quit as well, but you didn't. So, and you lived to tell the tale.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah.
Honestly, through for a second there during this story, I wasn't sure if you were gonna live to tell the tale. Like, even though you're here talking to me right now, I was like, did he die? Did he live? That's crazy. So, what did you? from this whole experience, this whole like the pearl diving role, what do you what did you gain from it? Obviously, I don't mean like obviously you did the training. I don't mean that, but I just mean what did you gain from it as a role?
That's hard to answer that because I try to think, like, I try to see the positive and like going through that, going
Hmm.
through something you dislike. I think the positive is knowing that I can sustain um, pressure whilst aiming at a goal.
Hmm.
I'll take that. I can handle stress well. Um, but and it was amazing to see what I've seen.
I
A
can
little snippet.
imagine.
I was also underwater near the epicenter of an earthquake, which was a mega experience. But that wasn't dangerous. That was just it was just quite fun.
Oh, the earthquake that
Um,
wasn't dangerous.
that was crazy though. That was like it was like an explosion went off whilst I was underwater. Like all the fish just did something weird, and it was like when you're at a festival and like you hear the bass, and
Yeah,
you're at a really loud like festival and you
yeah.
hear the music going through your body.
Hmm.
That was like that underwater, like your whole body felt this like the frequency of it through you. It sounded like the boat had blown up above me, but I knew it hadn't. I just was so confused as what was going on.
I would have been thinking,
Um,
what in the Titanic is happening right now? Like, oh my
yeah, well,
gosh.
I went to the top. I was like, "What was that noise?" And she was just like, "What you on about? Get down, get back to work. What you on about?" I was like,
Wow.
"What?" I was like, "That is an explosion." I've just heard. Yeah.
Did you get to keep any of the pearls as like a thanks for nearly dying every day for the past 6 months? Did you get to keep the pearls or any?
So you weren't allowed to, but I had a knife on me when I was down there, and I every so often I would crack one open and see if I could find one, but I never. So the pearls are actually harvested and grown unnaturally out at sea. So
Okay.
actually, when you get a pearl shell, um, the pearl aspect is manufactured. So what really is when you open the pearl shell, you'll get the pearl material on either side of the shell, but then very rarely is it like a perfect pearl. That's actually man-made because we they put like a little like they operate on it, put like this little I don't know, little stone or little
Hmm.
something in it, and then when they put it back in the sea, it like wraps its shell around it to make this pearl. So
Well, sorry, what I want to know is so I'm still going back to this story of that traumatic experience. What happened when you like
yeah,
get back to your pals back where you were originally in Australia, and like when you come back home to Bradford, like what happened? What's your family and your friends' reaction to the story?
I mean when I went back to like a normal role and a normal job,
Yeah,
and
like
back to like
how
I
did
really struggle.
people react to the story, and how did you react to not working? Because that's 6 months is a
I,
long time.
I really struggled to be honest with you. Really struggled going back to. I went back to being a supervisor in a bar in Melbourne, and honestly, I really struggled because I explained some of these stories, obviously, but I can't explain the experience. I don't think the story does even the experience justice, and it just felt so deflating for me. I think,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I just saw my mates who had just had fun for the last 6 months and had a really good time, and I struggled to fit back into it because I'd seen the world differently after doing this. I'd seen like other other things you could see, other it like broke me out of the cycle of what I was doing. Like obviously
Mm-hmm.
just enjoying it, enjoying life, doing this, doing that, never having a stress, never worrying about, some days I'd wake up for this do this pearl job and we joke on but like today could be the day we die. I'm joking. It sounds like I'm joking now, but we were being serious because it was crazy what we were doing. Like I remember nearly getting launched off the boat. I went flying up in the air because it was so stormy. I was at the end of the boat trying to tie it up, and the wave just knocked me off. Like I was in mid-air for like a couple of seconds, then landed back on the boat. Thankfully, I didn't bang my head or anything. Um,
Jesus
I also
Christ.
nearly broke my hand. There's so many different things that went bad and wrong that could have gone worse. So I personally really struggled to honestly find also motivation to do what I was doing again. I just I didn't get the same kick out of it.
I mean,
I think I still don't now, to be honest.
yeah, but I don't know. Like, once you nearly die every day for 6 months, you're kind of not gonna get that anywhere else. So it is a bit of a. I can only imagine like how difficult it was to get back into the swing of things. Especially when that's your life for 6 months. That's a long time. Plus the training and yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds intense, Ashton. But
yeah,
I don't know if I can do any more. I just feel like you've got them like so much more traumatic things to tell me about this.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. I know there's a lot there's a lot of different things I could go with. I don't want to keep your episode on too long.
I
But
want to just say that I'm pretty sure we will be seeing you on season 2 of Physical 100 because I swear to God, you will win. Like, you will win. You will win. But I do just want to say, Ashton, thank you so much. Wow. What a story. What a journey. Like, thank you so much for sharing. I loved that. When I watch this back, I'm just gonna cringe at how distressed I look.
honestly, I mean, you're fortunate 'cause I can't see you. I've not been able to see your reaction.
Oh no, you'll see, you'll see. But
I'll see.
Ashton, thank you so much for joining me and sharing this story. It was so interesting.
It's been a pleasure, mate. It's been a pleasure. Can't wait to be back on the yellow couch soon.
Yeah, hopefully with something that's not gonna like make me clutch my pearls. No pun intended. But I will wrap up and thank you again.
See you later.